questions for the uh, World Health Organization reading that you guys are doing today. So when I was reading it, I realized that it's a reading with some kind of difficult concepts in it, and probably if we were in class, um, I would have read it and we would have explained a lot of it. So, couple things to keep in mind is that a lot of the article talks about how the World Health Organization put things in place and then it didn't follow through. Um, on those things. So, for example, let's how about this? I'm going to go through each question and then kind of explain it, and then maybe that will help you find the answer in the readings. Okay. So, first, the authors of the article wrote the Ebola is staying ahead of efforts to contain it. In your own words, explain what this statement means. Okay. So, right? Ebola is staying ahead. Okay, so that means the disease is staying ahead of the efforts of the organization to try to contain what was going on, to try to contain the disease from spreading. Okay, so that's what that means. So so now you have to say it in your own words, and I just kind of gave you some of that answer, but that's okay, right? So how is it similar to what we're doing right now with this pandemic? Okay. So, and then historically, what is the World Health Organization supposed to do? What has that supposed to have been um, the job of the World Health Organization? Okay, so that's question number 2. So, question number 3. So, in your own words, describe the 2 things that the 2005 IHR requires countries to do. So, it, um, there's a short list at the top of the second column. Okay, it's a very, very short list. But what is that? What was that part of the World Health Organization created to do? What is that supposed to do? Okay, and then thinking about thinking about some of the things that you heard. Okay, did those things happen when the country when that stuff when COVID-19 started to spread? Um, in our country, did that stuff happen? Because you guys know how quickly, like, all of a sudden they were talking about it, and then all of a sudden we were out of school. Okay, right? And then I'm sure you've been paying attention to the news and stuff. It's kind of hard not to. Um, even if you don't watch it, it's hard to not know what's going on. Okay? So number 4, why do the authors of the article refer to the 2005 IHR as a huge missed opportunity? Okay, so why wasn't that? So basically, a huge missed opportunity basically means that it wasn't used the way it was supposed to be used, okay, or that people didn't do what they were supposed to do at a certain time. All right. So, thinking about that, how does that missed opportunity, so those things that were supposed to be put in place, how does that affect the pandemic that we're having today? Okay, so the things that they were supposed to do in 2005 that maybe didn't get done the way they were supposed to, how does that work with kind of what's happening today? All right. And then says, so what 2 priorities for responding to the Ebola epidemic do the authors of the article identify? What are 2 really important things that needed to be that needed to happen with the Ebola epidemic? The authors say needed to happen. Okay, what are 2 things that the author says that the World Health Organization needed to do to respond to this epidemic? Okay, because the reason why it's important is because the way that the Ebola epidemic was handled kind of is the plan for the way that this pandemic is being handled today. Okay, So, and then are these two priorities the same for this current pandemic that we're facing? And why do you think this way? All right. So I know that this is a little bit more, and we probably would have broken this a lot down a lot in class and talked about it, and had more of a group discussion. Um, so I hope that this helps. If you have questions about these things, please email me, okay? And then I can help you out with this. And if you want to do a face-to-face conference, just let me know and we can do that too. All right. Um, let's see. I don't know if there's anything else that I want to say. Oh, tomorrow we're going to talk about the World Health Organization some more. But here's something to think about while you're doing this, and here's a little bit of a preview for tomorrow. So tomorrow, I've got a article that's kind of a more positive spin on the World Health Organization. But President Trump suspended all of our financial help to the World Health Organization because he feels like they've been mismanaging their money and they haven't been doing what they needed to do for the pandemic. And, typically, how I like to disagree with most of what the government does because I just am kind of like that. But I, personally, and I shouldn't put my personal spin on things, but the World Health Organization has kind of screwed a lot of things up. And I kind of, am in partial agreement